Every town needs a Spider-Man. Hey guys, gals, cats, dogs and aliens from outer space. I have just returned from watching Spider-Man Homecoming for the second time and, well, long story short, it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Thought it was a brilliant first solo entry for the Spider-Man character into the same universe as the Avengers, and it left me wanting to see more. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then don't forget to... However, there are a few other thoughts I'd like to share about the movie, so I'm going to break this video down into 3 succinct sections, pros, cons, and then I'll give my overall grading, as you will, of the movie at the end. So let's begin with the pros. As far as positives go, I have a lot to say about the movie, and this video could go on forever and ever, so I'll just try and break it down. Overall, the movie had a real good sort of high school coming of age hero feel to it, and it was just overall a feel good movie. It was hilarious at points. Spider-Man was the Spider-Man that I remember growing up watching in the 90s cartoons. I think Tom Holland did a brilliant job of playing the character, and for a fellow Brit, his New York accent was actually pretty darn good. I'm not going to attempt to do one, but his was pretty good. Also, just acting wise in general, not only did he play the youthful, energetic, quirky part of Spider-Man really well, he really nailed the nerdy, awkward aura of Peter Parker, and also there were a few really dramatic scenes where he conveyed quite an emotional role, and it was really almost touching, I guess. So across the board, he wasn't just, you know, a good actor, he was a great actor in this. And as for casting choices of his friends and family, Marissa Tomei, who played Aunt May, was a brilliant addition. She's a lot younger and hotter than she's been previously in other Spider-Man movies. His best friend, Ned Leeds, also known as the guy in the chair, was hilarious. Once he found out that Peter was Spidey, he was so obsessed, he was asking him all these funny questions, and he just wouldn't stop bugging him about it. Get it? Bug? Spider? Hello darkness, my old friend. Robert Downey Jr., I don't even need to say a lot, he's just Robert Downey Jr., he's great. He didn't overpower the movie because Tony Stark wasn't in there too much, although he had a pretty fundamental role. He didn't take up a lot of screen time, but every time you did see Tony Stark on screen, it was just brilliant. Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Now, if it wasn't for Tom Holland being so good as Spidey, I would say he did steal the show, but Tom Holland was just so good. But Michael Keaton, he gave us a very compelling, enigmatic performance as the Vulture, and there's one particular scene with him, and I won't spoil it, but you'll know when you see the movie, where he's in the car, and it's just so intense. It's instantly become one of my favourite scenes in any Marvel movie. It was just brilliantly done. The music, the feeling, the aura, his acting, Tom Holland's acting. I want to say more about it, but I don't want to spoil it, but I've watched it twice already and it's up with me. I want to go see it again just for that scene. Also, his character takes a really interesting direction throughout the movie. You know, at points you sort of sympathise with him. I won't, again, say too much about where that goes. I'll let you find that out yourself. Also, I know that there was a lot of criticism about maybe the trailers were showing too much of the story. However, I feel like it showed you too much of a story, which allowed certain twists and turns to happen in the movie that you wouldn't have expected, so it was more sort of a diversion tactic. There are some really clever twists and turns in this movie, and you know, there are a few moments that something happens to just make you go, oh shit. And that after credit scene, not the mid credit scene, the final after credit scene, make sure you stay until the very end, because I was left shaking when I saw that scene. It was just amazing. Now on to the negatives. As far as negative comments go, I don't really have very many about the movie. I did feel like at some points earlier on in the film it was a little bit jumpy, going from certain scenes, but you know, it didn't impact the story negatively overall, so I overlooked it, and the rest of it was just great, so I didn't really care. I feel like Zendaya's character, Michelle, was a little bit underused, but maybe that's because they're setting her up for bigger things in the future. The only big potentially negative thing is a ripple in the timeline of the MCU. What I'm talking about is right at the start of the movie, there's a big title card that flashes up after showing you the events of the Avengers, which I think most people accepted and believed happened in 2012. And then it just said, which would mean the movie was set in 2020. But apparently it's only 2 months after Civil War, took place in 2016. So it's all a little bit confusing. Has Marvel just gone and ruined the timeline that they've been so precariously crafting this entire time? As Sony's first time working with Marvel, just completely cocked everything up. Flipping heck, Sony. I believe it's just that they decided that they wanted certain things that we have believed to happen at certain times happen at other times. So I don't think anymore that the Avengers actually did happen in 2012. It probably happened a couple of years earlier. So I think because the Marvel movies came out with such gaps in between them, we just assume that they happened like that in real time, when maybe the first few Phase 1 Marvel movies actually just all happened in the same sort of week or month, really close together. Then the Avengers shortly after. I think basically it's teaching us that maybe we shouldn't focus too much on the exact timing and dating and minutes and seconds of events, because otherwise we'll get riled up like I did when I saw the 8 years later, and I was like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. As long as the story isn't completely screwed and doesn't fit in with the others, I guess it's alright. However, there were some news stories in the Netflix Marvel series of like Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, etc. that did date the Battle of New York, which is the climactic battle in the Avengers, in 2012. But I guess it's just another example of the movies not caring about the shows. Yeah, we'll just say the Avengers didn't happen in 2012. It probably happened a few years earlier, so that it makes sense for Peter Parker to be the age he is in Spider-Man Homecoming. Another fun theory is that in Doctor Strange, when he was fighting Dormammu and rewinding time and all that, he just completely cocked up the timeline, and well, now the universe has skipped forward 2 years. I mean, it's probably the first thing I spoke about more than this, but this could be fun. Maybe Doctor Strange did mess everything up, and we'll find out more about that in Infinity War, but I think the other theory is more likely. Or it could just be a massive mistake on Sony and Marvel's behalf, and now they're just gonna come up with one of the ways that I mentioned to explain it away. But as long as it can be justified, you know, I don't care, because I love Marvel. They can't do any wrong in my eyes. Those eagle-eyed viewers of you may have realised I'm wearing a Guardians of the Galaxy t-shirt today. The one you wore in the movie, because I'm that cool. I'm not trying to be him, I swear. I will say that I thought there was a little bit less spectacle in this movie compared to Marvel's other recent ventures, in the sense that there weren't as many giant, crazy set pieces, like when Doctor Strange was fighting Caecilius as time rewound around them, or like in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when the Guardians were fighting a giant planet. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, as there were a lot of more well-focused, really intense action sequences that served the purpose and drove the movie in a forward direction. So it was a little bit more self-contained, but it was really, really good in the sense that it really drove the story along, and it wasn't just action for action's sake. However, there was also a lot of Spidey action for Spidey action's sake, and that was really fun, just lots of him swinging around and saving people, but that's what you want to see. I'm going to try and reel this in now and basically just say that I love the movie. It's probably my favourite Spider-Man movie yet. I know that's a big thing to say, and I haven't watched Spider-Man 2, which was my previous favourite, in a little while, but second impressions of this movie, I just want to keep seeing it again and again and again. I loved it. It was fun, it was intense, it was dark and gritty at points. It was well encapsulated within the MCU, apart from the 8 years blip that may or may not be a blip. I loved it, and I can't wait to see it again, and I'm definitely going to pre-order the Blu-ray like I do all the Marvel Blu-rays, so it's probably the best. It made me feel like a little kid again, like when I used to sit down on my burnt settee, because I set my settee on fire, and that's not what we're talking about. It reminded me of when I was a kid. It made me feel like a kid sat in my old sofa in my old house watching the Spidey cartoons on TV, and it made me feel those feelings again, because Tom Holland did a great job of recreating the Spidey that I grew up knowing and loving, and thank you for that, Tom, and thank you, Marvel and Sony, for making this happen. So if you want a great family movie to go watch with the kids, or if you are a kid, or if you want to go and feel like a kid, but don't feel kids, because that's illegal. If you want to go do all those things, then Spider-Man Homecoming is the summer movie for you. And I'm probably going to go see it again at some point with my siblings. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy Spider-Man Homecoming if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, go watch it again because I love Marvel and I want Spider-Man to make lots of money. But thank you ever so much for watching this video. I was originally going to make a different sort of video. I was going to get a Spidey costume and go film some Spider-Man themed skit, but I'm not a big famous rich YouTuber yet, so I can't afford the props or the people or the time to make those things happen as well as I want them to. But don't get disheartened. I have faith that these things will happen. You know, Shenanigans is going to have 100 million subscribers in a few years, so just sit tight and more crazy videos will be coming your way soon. I'm going to be hypnotizing my brother, I'm going to be teaching you how to pick up girls, I'm going to be getting scared, I'm going to be doing all sorts of things. Spoilers. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then don't forget to give it a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you especially enjoyed the video, don't forget to share it with all your friends so they can join in the shenanigans. That's been all from me for this video. I will see you in the next one. Go Ed, go! Also, in case you haven't seen, I uploaded another video earlier on today, which wasn't really a main channel video. It was just something popular happened and I wanted to hop on that bandwagon and try and get some views and new subscribers. So I made a video about something that may or may not interest you. I tried to make it as funny as possible and like a normal video, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'll leave a link to it somewhere around here. Have a great day, folks!